Do you like museums? If so, we dedicate today's video to you. We are going to have a look at ARTICKET BCN, a museum pass for the city of Barcelona. Hola, ¿qué tal? I am Tony Galvez from Road Trip Spain and Portugal, where we help you plan the perfect trip with practical information and insider tips. Welcome especially to the art lovers of the planet, to the video in which we are going to talk about the best museum pass in Barcelona. The city is known all over the world for its extraordinary collection of modernist architecture, absolutely unmissable. But if you are interested in other artistic expressions and periods, you should know that the city has a number of very interesting museums, with works ranging from Romanesque to contemporary movements. In today's video, we'll tell you about what is the ARTICKET BCN, which museums are included in the pass, how to use the pass, where can you buy the pass, and finally we're going to try to assess whether the pass is worth it. Let's get started. ARTICKET BCN is a pass that allows you to visit 6 museums in Barcelona. You pay once and receive a pass that allows you to enter the 6 museums that are part of the pass. You can only enter each museum once, but you have 1 year from the date you buy the pass to visit these museums. You are not obliged to do them all in 1 or 2 days. The pass allows you to visit the permanent collection of each of the museums, as well as any temporary exhibitions that may be on at the time of your visit. Let's have a look on the map at the location of the 6 museums included in the ARTICKET, and let's talk a bit about each one of them. The first museum is the Museo Nacional d'Art de Catalunya, Catalonia's National Art Museum, also known as MNAC or MNAC. Dominating the landscape of Montjuïc Mountain is the Palau Nacional, the National Palace, which today houses the MNAC. The MNAC's collection transports the visitor through nearly 1,000 years of art history in Catalonia. It includes painting, sculpture, and decorative arts, among others. There are sections dedicated to Romanesque, Gothic, Renaissance, Baroque, and Modernism, as well as a room dedicated to Picasso. The 2 highlights of the museum are the Romanesque section, probably one of the finest in the world, with paintings and sculptures from churches in the mountains, and the section dedicated to Modernism, Art Nouveau, with works by the most important names of the movement, including Gaudí, Puig i Cadafalch, and Domènech i Montaner. The museum houses furniture from the most important modernist houses. The entrance to the museum also gives access to the terraces of the Palau Nacional. From the top of the grandiose building there are spectacular views of Barcelona. The second museum is the Fundació Joan Miró. One of the many dreams of the Catalan genius Joan Miró was to make his work accessible to the general public. And as part of that dream, the artist inaugurated his foundation in 1975. The architect Josep Lluís Sert, a friend of Miró's, designed the building that houses the foundation, an open space with many terraces. It was the first contemporary art museum in Barcelona. The paintings and sculptures in the museum's collection provide a chronological overview of Miró's work. A beautiful modernist building built by Lluís Domènech i Montaner houses today the Tapies Foundation, a museum dedicated to the work of the Catalan artist Antoni Tapies. It was one of Barcelona's first modernist buildings, which was later restored and adapted to house the foundation. The interior of the museum takes advantage of the structure of the former publishing house that once occupied the building to present a selection of the artist's work in its ample spaces. The collection includes more than 300 works by Tapies, which were donated by the artist and his wife. In a space in the middle of the narrow streets of the Raval neighborhood stands the Museo d'Art Contemporani de Barcelona, Barcelona's contemporary art museum, better known as MACBA. The MACBA architectural project marked the beginning of a new life for the neighborhood when it was inaugurated in 1995. The museum building is by the American architect Richard Mayer, who sought to unite the contemporary art exhibited inside the museum with the historic buildings that surround it. The museum's collection focuses on art from the last 50 years. MACBA exhibits its permanent collection as well as opening its door to temporary exhibitions. Next to MACBA, also in El Raval, is the Centre de Cultura Contemporánea de Barcelona, Barcelona's Center for Contemporary Culture, also known as CCCB, maintained by the City Council and the Diputació de Barcelona. It was inaugurated in 1994 after a major renovation of the building that once housed the Casa de la Caritat de Barcelona, a charity. The Pati de les Dones, women's courtyard, is the central element of the CCCB, providing access to the different parts of the center. It is a very beautiful place where the old and the modern blend together, reflected in the immense glass facade that is integrated into the original construction. The CCCB has an intense cultural program that includes music, shows, cinema, courses, conferences and festivals with a focus on the city and new technologies. For visitors to Barcelona like yourself, the most interesting part of the CCCB is its temporary exhibitions, which are often sensational. The Museo Picasso Museum is located in the Born district. The museum, which opened 50 years ago, occupies 5 interconnected Gothic palaces. The idea for the museum came from Jaime Sabartés, a personal friend of Picasso. Sabartés wanted the museum to be built in Malaga, but it was Picasso himself who suggested that it should stay in Barcelona. Since 2003, Malaga has also had a Picasso museum. The museum's collection includes more than 3,800 works by Picasso, with a special emphasis on his early works. The highlight of the collection is the series of reinterpretations of Velázquez's Meninas. A visit to the museum is a combination of a tour of Picasso's work and a surprising walk through the beautiful Gothic courtyards inside the palaces that were restored and adapted to house the museum. Let's see now how to use the pass. Once you've bought it, all you have to do is go to the entrance of each of the museums and show your pass to gain entry and get a stamp on it as well. A very important feature of the pass is that it allows you to skip the line at the ticket office, which in the case of museums like the Picasso, where the lines are often epic, is quite useful. You can use the pass to visit each of the museums that make up the pass just the one time. As we pointed out at the beginning of the video, you can make these visits within 1 year from the date of purchase of the pass. The pass is sold at all the museums that are part of it, or if you like to buy things before you travel, you can buy it online at Visit Barcelona Tickets, which is the official Barcelona tourism shop. In the description of the video, we're going to put a link to buy the pass. When you finish the online purchase, you will receive a voucher in your email. You have to print that voucher and take it to Barcelona to exchange it for the pass in any of the museums that are part of it. The voucher does not allow you to skip the line, so do not exchange the voucher at the Picasso Museum to avoid having to queue for a long time. Go to the Picasso Museum once you have the pass and skip the line. So is the pass worth it? Here is our honest assessment. Let's first see if the pass pays off from a financial point of view. Let's use the prices of May 2022 for the comparison. With a pass, paying 35 euros, you get into all 6 museums. If you bought the tickets separately, to visit the MNAC, you would pay 12 euros. To visit the Picasso Museum, you would pay 12 euros, and the bill rises to 24. To visit the Fundación Miró, you would pay 13 euros. The bill goes up to 37. Note that if you were to visit the MNAC, the Picasso Museum and the Fundación Miró, the pass would already be worth the investment. To visit the MACBA, you would pay 11 euros, the bill goes up to 48. To visit a single exhibition at the CCCB, you would pay 6, 8 if you visit 2 exhibitions, the bill goes up to 54. And finally, to visit the Tapies Foundation, you would pay 8. The final bill comes to 62 euros. It is clear that from a financial point of view, the pass is really worthwhile. It is an excellent purchase, allowing great savings. However, we have to be honest with you, all the museums included in the pass are fantastic, including our favorite museum in Barcelona, the MNAC. But you have to define if you really want to visit all the museums. Actually, as we've said, just visiting the MNAC, the Picasso Museum and the Miró Foundation would be worth it. But you have to decide if you are interested in these museums, and equally important, if you are going to have time to visit them during your stay in Barcelona. As always, if you have any questions about this wonderful art route, just ask. You will see next on screen a video that we are sure you will find very useful for planning your trip to Barcelona. Don't miss it. Até mais, hasta la próxima, see you soon.